Hey, it's Joe. Welcome back to the series on automation, automating your real estate investing business. This question is, I just started a month ago using your auto marketer system. Every time I get on the phone, I feel like a bit of an idiot, and I stumble around when I talk, even when I'm using your scripts. I've talked to about 20 sellers now, and already I feel like I'm getting better, but I'm still not getting anyone to sign the lease option memo. They just don't seem to think I'm credible, and I don't really blame them. Are there any techniques other than just practice that'll help me sound more credible and will show that I'm a real investor rather than some schmuck who just watched a late night get-rich-quick show? Yeah, there's some great ways to build your credibility. One of the old ways that we used to do it was we'd build a buyer's list. By having a buyer's list, when you talk to a seller and say, I've got 23 people right now, or I've got 75, or I've got 150 people right now that are interested in buying a rent-to-buy property in this area, in your area, but I don't have any properties to sell to them. I'm interested in getting yours sold. So you have what they're looking for. If they need a buyer, you've got buyers, and that gives you credibility. That puts you above them on the scale because they're just trying to get their property sold. Another way to build credibility, and we don't necessarily do that if you're just getting started. Don't worry about having a buyer's list if you're just getting started. Learn how to talk to the sellers and use these other techniques I'm going to teach you right now about credibility. Learning how to speak is your main source of credibility. If you learn how to speak with authority, with knowledge, with compassion, if you learn how to listen to these people and listen to their problem and be able to give them a real solution to the problem and do it with confidence, just like if you went to your doctor and said, Doc, my stomach hurts, and he says, where does it hurt? How does it hurt? He asks you questions about it. He doesn't make a diagnosis and give you a prescription to solve the problem until he knows more about it, until he understands what the problem might be. He may even have to do some tests before he finds out. So that's the same thing that we're going to be doing, and the same attitude that we're going to take when we talk to sellers. We want to make sure that we understand their problem and that we can solve it. And if we do that and we do it with confidence in what we're saying and we listen to them, again, listening is very important because at the beginning, after talking to 20 people, you don't have the ability to listen yet, probably. Probably what's happening is you're trying to think of the script, you're trying to read the script, you're trying to ask questions, but you're not really listening to the answers. You're trying to think of different ways you can sell them. You're trying to think of all the objection handling techniques that I teach, all these things you're trying to do, and you're not really listening to what the problem is. And that's one of the ways that we solve that problem is instead of doing a one-step call, we do a two-step call. On the one-step call, which is the way that I've traditionally taught this process in talking to sellers, we just try to get the deal done on the first call. In the two-step call, it's for beginners or for people that you hire as telemarketers. You have them call and ask a series of questions. And the questions are actually outlined in the auto marketer. There's a lead sheet in the auto marketer that you can open up, and there's places you can fill out. You can put the information about the property and all the questions that we have. And once we have answers to all those questions that are on that lead sheet, we can make an offer. We can make a zero-down offer for their property or an under market value offer. Remember, we only make money as investors by buying properties one of two ways, either dramatically under market value or two, at market value or below on terms. So if we buy it under market value, we might be able to buy it on cash, or we can buy it on terms. Those two ways of buying property will make us money as an investor every time if we structure it properly. Another way that you can increase your credibility is using the data feed system in the clone sites. If you don't have any properties to put on your site because you're brand new at this, you don't want to send anybody to a blank site saying, oh, go look at my site and you'll see the kind of stuff that I'm doing. Well, we have a data feed system that allows you that other people will put their properties on your site for you, and you can put them on there and it'll look like you've got a real business going. Also, just having a web page, so you can send them to your rent-to-own buyer's site so they can see, here's how I'm bringing in buyers. I've got a proprietary method of driving traffic to this site, and it brings me in buyers for your properties. That's why I have so many buyers. So everything in my marketing is focused on bringing in more buyers to help you solve this problem. So if you can't say I've got a list of buyers for your house, you can say I've got a proprietary online marketing source for buyers buyers that are interested in this area, which we do, which is the stuff that I teach. And it makes it easy for you to put together a deal once you have a lease option memo signed. So having that infrastructure, having your websites in place, that these days it looks like a brick and mortar store. People, give a lot of weight to websites. So if they look and see you've got a website, they see, okay, he must be legitimate. He's not just some scam artist. He's got a real business here. And you combine that with your skill at talking to them, and you combine that with having buyers for their property, and you combine that with having other properties for sale. You put all these things together, and your credibility goes through the roof, and people trust you on a much higher level. Now, if you're still stumbling over yourself, they're still not, they're not going to buy it. But you can learn how to do that without talking to too many people. My guess, by the time you get to 100 people, to 100 conversations with sellers, making them offers, going through this process, not taking no for an answer, but keep asking them questions about their situation. If you learn how to do that and you listen to yourself every time you do it, I would suggest that you record your conversations. There's a phone system inside the auto marketer that allows you to let's say I'm working in let's say I live in California and I want to work in Indiana, so I get a phone number in Indiana that I can call through the auto marketer, and it'll look like a 317 area code, which is an Indiana area code, and it'll look like I'm calling locally, and I can talk to those people locally. I can put the deal together over the phone, and it also allows me to record that conversation so I can listen to myself and learn from my mistakes. I suggest that you listen to yourself, make these conversations, you look at how many you've actually made, which it also shows you. It shows you how long you were on the phone with these people. All those things are really valuable to help you learn and get better at this process. All right, hope that helps.